A lot of people have desire, a lot of people have want to, and a lot of people have ideas. I think the thing that separates Bob and most entrepreneurs from those people is persistence. Bob does not take no for an answer.
I met Bob at a CEO roundtable at the time, and I'd seen him on TV, this movie star on TV doing the weather and everything, and then to meet him in person was a really neat experience because he had already been in business for a while, and so he had a lot to offer to the group.
When your dad's on TV, there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons. You get to go a lot of places, but I think one of the most interesting cons is when your dad says it's going to snow and it doesn't snow, there are consequences at school.
Bob is really shy, and I think anybody that meets him will know that he's really shy, and he is a wallflower, so you really have to get him to talk.
I think if you look at what we've just done with the state of Alabama, the Alabama Safety Net program.
So he said, guys, I'm going to donate this service to the entire state, which involved rolling out 67 units to emergency management and potentially signing up millions of people for this free service to alert them when they're in the path of dangerous weather.
There are a lot of people at our company who look at the roadblocks in doing that. And quite frankly, we busted down every roadblock and have had an extremely successful launch of that program. And I think it's going to save lives in the state of Alabama simply because Bob said, we're going to do this.
Well, a few years back, Bob and I worked together on the 6 and 10 o'clock newscast at Channel 48. And on occasion, when he could, Bob would like to go home between shows and grab a bite to eat. And at that time, he had a Ford Mustang convertible.
That was a 1965 convertible Mustang, and he always loved it. And so he went out and found one, literally ripped it all the way down to the frame. There are pictures of him standing in just the frame where he sandblasted it, put it all back together. He still has it.
And he loved to ride around with the top down. And as you know, Bob is a pretty tall guy. And when he would sit down in the car, his head would stick up just a little bit above the windshield. So one night he went home and was going to grab a bite to eat. And he came back and I saw him come through the door and he had all these specks on his forehead. I said, Bob, what in the world happened to you? He said, well, I should have put the top up. My doggone visor didn't work right. And it was just a bad night for bugs.
Bob is a kid. He is a kid at heart. He enjoys playing just as much as he enjoys working.
No, I think that's what's neat about Bob, when Bob comes in the room and he is just very open and sharing, and that's been the neat thing about Bob.
Phyllis has always been a candidate for sainthood. She's quite a personality herself. I think she manages Bob quite well.
I think that Dad comes off as a very charismatic individual. I think that comes from being on TV for so long and having a commitment to people. And he loves people, whether that's going to talk to a third grade class or whether it's to sit in a boardroom and talk about how we can help them protect their citizens.
And Bob is one of those people that, will tell you right away if you're sane or not. And that's good. You need people that will tell you when you need to do something differently or when you're doing it right.
Bob sees the end game really well, where some of us, myself included, being a manager type person, see the roadblocks, okay? And what do we have to overcome? Bob says, well, it doesn't matter what we have to overcome. This is what we're going to do. And that's a big difference, I think, in the entrepreneurial mind versus the other mind.
Sometimes Dad can get lost in a project because there's a 68 Cadillac that's in pieces all over Huntsville that he originally said, well, I'll have it for your high school graduation, then it was my college graduation, then it was for when I got married. I've been married 15 years now and have 3 children, and it's still in pieces. Yeah, I think Dad likes to share his opinion, and as you talked about Hurricane, his whole life has kind of been weather in motion. So, or as he likes to say it, weather in motion.